Healing after tragedy. Police are trying to determine what led to a mass shooting at a Virginia Beach government building. And curbing the violence in the Valley. How Metro Police are reaching out to the community during a dangerous time of the year. Plus, it's going to be a beautiful day outside. Ashley Conroy has the details in her Weather Now forecast. Your news starts right now.
This is breaking news on 8 News Now.
We'll get to those stories in just a minute, but we start with breaking news overnight as a deadly crash has shut down a busy intersection. It happened just after 4 at Tropicana and Pecos. Metro Police says one person was killed in the crash, while 2 more were taken to the hospital. The area will be shut down for several hours as officials investigate, so try to avoid the area if possible. And at least 12 people are dead and several more are injured after Friday's tragic mass shooting in Virginia Beach, Virginia. New details are beginning to emerge, but investigators are still working to determine what exactly happened and why. Steve Nannis has the latest.
We will not be defined by this horror. We will go forward.
A community in mourning and in shock, searching for answers.
I would ask all of you that are viewing this today to continue to please lift up Virginia Beach, continue to lift up these victims and their families.
Police say that Friday afternoon, a 40-year-old engineer in the city's public utilities department opened fire inside a Virginia Beach Municipal Center building. On Saturday, officials revealed the names of those who lost their lives.
They leave a void that we will never be able to fill.
The shooter was killed in a gun battle with police, and investigators are working to discover why he may have carried out this horrific attack. One Virginia government source said the shooter was a, quote, disgruntled employee. And amidst the terror, moments of heroism. 4 officers entered the building and engaged the shooter. One officer was shot but survived thanks to his bulletproof vest. Police Chief James Cervera credits them with preventing even more deaths.
This was not what is traditionally a police-involved shooting. This was a long-term, large gunfight.
And no matter what the investigation reveals, residents say they will focus on each other, a city in need of healing.
I know what our community is made of. We will define who we are in this moment. And by defining who we are in this moment, we will come together like never before.
I'm Steve Nannis reporting.
If you spent any time outside this weekend, you'll know the temperatures have definitely been heating up. Ashley Conroy has more on what we can expect moving forward in your Weather Now forecast.
Hey there, if you're just waking up, beautiful temperatures outside today. Of course, it is heating up a little bit. It's June 2nd, but we still haven't seen that first 100-degree day of 2019 as of yet. Doesn't look like we're going to see that today at all. So if you're waking up around 9 a.m., your temperature there is going to be in the low 70s, bumping up to those mid to upper 80s by midday, and then we're going to see those upper 80s also around 6 o'clock this evening. If you are heading out today, even for early June, the air quality is actually better than what it should be if those temperatures were already in those triple digits. So the only thing you're dealing with is that moderate ozone, but your PM dust levels, those are all in the green range. So definitely better air quality out there for today. We're going to be staying in the low 90s for the next couple of days, but we could reach that first 100-degree day later on this week. I'll have much more on that in my full Weather Now forecast in a couple of minutes. Back to you.
And the end of Project Neon is in sight, but not without a major push of construction this weekend. Pavapalooza has taken over the Spaghetti Bowl and has shut down several lanes. Right now, the 95 southbound to the I-15 northbound ramp is closed. Also, both northbound and southbound 95 off-ramps to Rancho are shut down. The Valley View on-ramp to the 95 is also closed. All of these closures will continue until 5 a.m. tomorrow. Project Neon is 96% finished and is on track to wrap up by mid-July. And 2 drivers are recovering this morning after a crash involving a Metro police officer. Investigators say a police cruiser and another car collided at the intersection of Tropicana and Rainbow. That was just before 9 last night. Both drivers were taken to the hospital and are expected to be okay. Metro says that officer was on the way to the scene of a barricade in the Western Valley. A burglary suspect refused to leave a home near Flamingo and Durango. The barricade lasted at least 5 hours. Metro says one man was arrested after a short standoff with their SWAT team. No details about the suspect have been released. And Henderson police have arrested a man in connection to a robbery turned deadly. 22-year-old Joseph DeFrancisco is accused of shooting and killing a 20-year-old man. That happened Friday during a robbery near Boulder Highway and Major Avenue. DeFrancisco faces a first-degree murder charge. A 16 and 17-year-old boy were also hurt in the shooting. Officials haven't released any information on the teen's conditions. This is Henderson's 6th homicide of the year. And Metro Police say as the temperature continues to rise, so does the crime rate. Officers are addressing that by building positive relationships with the community. 8 News Now reporter Kristen Drummond explains how they're showing the Valley that we're all on the same team.
Longer days and hotter nights.
The weather's nicer, and so people are out, so there's more crimes of opportunity.
Likely factors Metro Police say contribute to the spike in crime during the summer months.
During the daytimes when it's excruciatingly hot outside, we don't see that increase. What we see is more towards the evening hours.
Sergeant Jeff Clark with Metro Police says the department can't correlate it to students out of school.
We don't track juvenile crime in that fashion.
But adds crime tends to happen when people stay idle. To try and reduce it, police continue their efforts to build positive relationships with the communities they protect and serve.
A lot of times, especially in certain higher crime areas, police are looked at as maybe a negative side of things because we're only showing up on people's bad days.
Don't treat the community like it's a stranger, but interact with the community.
Earlier this week, Metro Police posted this video on Twitter. It shows an officer playing basketball with children in a Northeast neighborhood.
It's a good thing to see the cops interacting with the kids because it shows them that they care.
You should see more of that.
Encouraging children to stay active while also gaining their trust.
Kids particularly feel confident and comfortable with the police. We hope that will translate into them being able to have an open conversation with us or to report any concerns that they may have.
Concerns that may help keep the community safer. Kristen Drummond, 8 News Now.
Lowering the use of deadly force, that was the focus of discussion at the Mom Museum this weekend. Called the King of Killing, the founder of the Taser discussed how technology has impacted law enforcement's use of deadly force. Rick Smith founded the Taser company in 1993. The device has since become a common tool for law enforcement. His vision for the future now is a non-lethal replacement for guns that aren't tasers.
These are still not a suitable replacement for a firearm. But I believe within the next 10 years, we'll get to the point where non-lethal weapons are so effective they actually are faster and more reliable than shooting bullets at people. And that's why I'm starting to talk about it now, because it's a radical concept, and it's going to take a while for people to understand, what's coming.
Metro Police have already rolled out new options for non-lethal force. 2 years ago, the SWAT team began using a sponge round, which is a single round fired from a gun officers have been already using for years. And we are now into the second week of early voting for the 2019 municipal general election. Here's a look at 3 of the busiest polling stations. More than 8,000 people have voted so far. You can vote through June 7th at any polling location. Election day is June 11th. And a bill to ban bump stock devices has made its way to Governor Sisolak's desk. This weekend, the Assembly approved the Red Flag bill. Bump stocks allow semi-automatic rifles to fully mimic automatic fire and were used in the 1 October shooting. The bill also offers a way for police to take guns out of the hands of people deemed to be a violent risk. It also lets family members seek a court order to take guns away from a person who poses any kind of danger. And time is quickly running out for this year's legislative session, and with a potential strike on the horizon, lawmakers are trying to find as much money as Nevada teachers as possible. The local teachers union is threatening to strike next school year if lawmakers don't meet their demands. The Clark County School District says it needs $111 million more each of the next 2 years. It would cover teacher raises and health care costs as promised by Governor Sisolak. The district's balanced budget right now does not include any of that. Superintendent Dr. Jesus Jara says he's optimistic the money will come, but cautions against a strike.
I will file and do what I need to do to make sure that our children come to school 180 days, and we, as a superintendent and my board, who are constitutional officers, that we follow the law.
With a balanced budget already approved, any funding changes will only add more money into the CCSD budget, but how much or if it's enough to pay for the raises and health care costs remains to be seen. And coming up, revitalizing hard-hit communities, how a new tax credit aims to rebuild struggling areas in the valley. And later, lacing up her shoes for the national stage, how one of the country's fastest runners is preparing for her next big race. Stay with us. You're watching 8 News Now, the Valley's